10 Worst Seaside Towns in the UK. Seaside holidays have long been a British tradition. Fish and chips, donkey rides, arcades, and sandy shoes. But not all seaside towns sparkle like postcards. Some have seen better days, with peeling paint, closed amusements, and empty high streets. That's not to say they don't have charm, but let's be honest. A few are clinging to memories rather than making new ones. In this ranking of the 10 worst seaside towns in the UK, we take a lighthearted but honest look at the coastal spots that just didn't make the tide come in fast enough. 10. Southend-on-Sea, Essex. Southend-on-Sea sounds glamorous on paper. It boasts the world's longest pleasure pier, kiss-me-quick hats, and a bit of that classic British seaside buzz. But when you peel back the glitter, things get a bit tired. The town has struggled with overdevelopment, traffic congestion, and an urban sprawl that doesn't quite scream seaside escape. Visitors have often reported that Southend feels more like a London suburb that wandered too close to the water. The beach can be overcrowded and litter-strewn, and many of its once thriving attractions now feel outdated. It still pulls in crowds, but few leave singing its praises. 9. Great Yarmouth, Norfolk. Once a magnet for holidaymakers from across the country, Great Yarmouth has that nostalgic Victorian resort vibe. But sadly, much of it seems frozen in time. The promenade has all the ingredients: arcades, donkey rides, and seafront chippies. But there's also a noticeable air of neglect. A 2024 visitor survey revealed that tourists found the town center uninspiring, with shuttered shops and lackluster food options. Though it has some strong points, like the historic Time and Tide Museum, it doesn't quite make up for the faded amusements and the hit-or-miss cleanliness. Great Yarmouth's charm still flickers, but it's buried under decades of wear and tear. 8. Clacton-on-Sea, Essex. Clacton was once one of the jewels of the Essex coast, and it's still trying to hold on to its crown. But the truth is, this town has seen brighter days. The pier remains a central draw, but step beyond the seafront and you'll find rough edges, neglected housing, struggling shops, and a general sense that time hasn't been kind. Critics often point out the dated attractions and a nightlife scene that's more sleepy than sparkly. The beach is decent in summer, but overall vibes tend to lean towards bleak rather than breezy. In the context of the 10 worst seaside towns in the UK, Clacton sadly earns its spot. 7. Blackpool, Lancashire. This entry might ruffle some feathers. Blackpool is iconic. The illuminations, the tower, the pleasure beach. But even legends can lose their shine. Beneath the neon lights lies a town grappling with economic decline, high crime rates in some areas, and a tourism trade that feels stuck in the 1980s. That's not to say Blackpool is without merit. It's bold, brash, and still draws millions every year. But many visitors leave feeling that behind the dazzle is a town that's struggling to modernize. It's more of a guilty pleasure than a glamorous getaway. 6. Burnham-on-Sea, Somerset. Nestled on the Somerset coast, Burnham-on-Sea offers a quiet, more low-key experience than other seaside towns. Maybe a bit too quiet. Tourists frequently complain about the lack of things to do, with one reviewer calling it a good place if you enjoy staring at mudflats. Its long, flat beach is ideal for wind sports, but not for sunbathing or swimming. The pier is Britain's shortest, and the town itself lacks a vibrant shopping or dining scene. It's not terrible, just bland. For those looking for excitement, Burnham is more of a gentle nap than a day at the fair. 5. Skegness, Lincolnshire. Skeggy, as it's fondly known, is famous for butlins, kiss-me-quick hats, and classic British beach kitsch, but its seaside sparkle has dulled over time. The town frequently ranks near the bottom of seaside destination surveys due to low marks for cleanliness, scenery, and peace and quiet. Yes, it has amusements and caravan parks galore, but there's a gritty edge that can make some visitors uneasy. The beach is wide but windswept, and beyond the seafront, the town can feel empty and dated. Skegness is still hanging on to its resort status, but just barely. 4. Mablethorpe, Lincolnshire. Not far from Skegness, Mablethorpe faces many of the same challenges, but with fewer attractions to fall back on. It scored just 46% in a national seaside satisfaction poll, with visitors criticizing its outdated town center, lack of facilities, and tired seafront. Despite having a blue flag beach, it doesn't quite live up to expectations. Many feel it's caught between trying to modernize and clinging to its past. It has potential, especially for those seeking quiet, but in the grand scheme of British seaside towns, it's closer to forgettable than fabulous. 3. Ayr, South Ayrshire, Scotland. Scotland's top entry on this list, Ayr was once a favorite of Glaswegian holidaymakers. Today, it's often described as a ghost town. Despite having a long, sandy beach and a strong historic identity, the town center is plagued with empty units, crumbling facades, and a shortage of tourist-worthy attractions. Ayr's low position in visitor surveys comes down to a lack of vibrancy and a sense of decay. While the scenery around Ayrshire is lovely, the town itself feels like it's still waiting for its second act. Locals and visitors alike hope investment will come, but for now, it earns its place among the 10 worst seaside towns in the UK. 2. Bognor Regis, West Sussex. Once dubbed the sunniest place in Britain, Bognor Regis has had a long, storied relationship with British beach culture. But in recent years, its status has slipped. It ranked at the bottom of the 2025 Which Seaside Town survey, scoring just 36%. That's a rough spot for a town with such royal connections. It was given its Regis suffix by King George V. Visitors criticized the town for its tired infrastructure, underwhelming food options, and general lack of atmosphere. While the beach is pleasant enough, many feel there's not much reason to return. It's coasting on sunshine and sentiment. 1. Bangor, Gwynedd, Wales. And here we are. The number 1 spot in the 10 worst seaside towns in the United Kingdom goes to Bangor. Yes, Bangor. Not to be confused with its Northern Irish cousin, this Welsh coastal city topped the worst of the worst list in 2024 with a visitor satisfaction score of just 42%. You'd think a town so close to Snowdonia and blessed with a Victorian pier would fare better. But reviewers consistently describe it as dull, lacking in attractions, and surprisingly dreary. The city has a large student population, but its seafront is described as uninspired, and its shopping and food options are considered some of the worst in any coastal location. Bangor's position is especially striking given its natural surroundings, but that makes it all the more disappointing. A town that should shine, but doesn't even glimmer. Every seaside town has its highs and lows, and even the ones on this list have redeeming features. But in terms of overall experience, these 10 stood out for the wrong reasons. The 10 worst seaside towns in the UK might still charm some, but they've got a long road to revival. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.